an attorney, what's called a Rule 9 attorney, that means a third-year law student who's able to practice law and defend people, was called a defendant by the sheriff's deputy, even though she was in the lawyer's line. Here's her commentary about what happened.
I have been going back and forth to court over the last couple of days because I have pretrial and I'm what's considered a Rule 9 attorney. So I'm essentially an attorney that's conditionally barred in the state of Rhode Island. I have a supervising attorney that I have to appear in court with. I wasn't with my supervising attorney, I was just by myself, but I had all my binders and folders or whatever to, enter an appearance. This sheriff comes out. He typically does that when he's ready to let all the attorneys into the courtroom. I'm like the second person in line. I'm like, oh, hey, good morning, whatever. He physically puts his body in between me and the door and is like, please step to the side. And I'm like, okay. Step to the side. He lets everyone else come in. He turns to me and goes, what's your name? And I was like, oh, my name is Brooklyn Crockton. He was like, I don't have you here on the docket. Like, are you sure you're in the right courtroom? And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, are you sure you're in the right courtroom? Like, are you the defendant? And I was like, no, I am the attorney. Actually, I have never been so embarrassed in my entire life. Like, I felt like crying in that moment. And the crazy part about it is you hear stories like this all the time with Black attorneys. But when it happens to you, it is just so visceral that you don't even know what to say. I'm dressed pretty nice. Not to say that defendants don't dress nice, but typically, you can tell who's with who. And he called for all the attorneys and I'm literally in line. Like, why would you assume that I was a defendant? I think we all know why.
I mean, literally, he got her out of the lawyer's line to say she was a defendant. I got some more background to this. Her name is Brooklyn Crockton. Brooklyn is going to be a bright and shining legal scholar. I plan to be a Rule 9 attorney myself in my third year of law school. I'm in my second currently. So let's go down what happened here. This is according to the Boston Globe. Law student Brooklyn Crockton, who's a third-year law student, by the way, at Roger Williams University, alleges she experienced racial profiling during a recent visit to the judicial complex as part of her school's criminal defense clinic. Very common stuff. Because she goes to Roger Williams University in Rhode Island, she is allowed to represent indigent defendants, those who have been arrested and charged with a crime but are unable to hire a lawyer due to undue hardship in criminal cases under the Supreme Court Rule 9. All right. Now, in a second video, Ms. Crockton shared that the deputy apologized to her later. Okay, but she believed it was hollow. Throughout the day, the student alleged the deputy continued to speak to her condescendingly, and I believe her. She's there doing a good deed. Now she has experienced the systemic dysfunction of the criminal justice system that she is now entering into as an officer of the court and hopefully as a revolutionary attorney. We do not have the name of the deputy sheriff who did this, but I do have the name of the chief judge of that judicial complex. Let's put the chief judge up. That's Michael B. Fort. We also have the sheriff. His name is David. We don't have a statement from them as of yet. Already the school, however, is taking steps to address race and law as they prepare the next generation of practitioners. During the fall 2021 semester, the university became one of the only law schools in the nation that program classes on race and the law as requirements for the JD. So they're teaching how race and law affect each other. Farron, thoughts on this?
You hear stories like this, you watch that video, and of course you go through the comments on the video. So many people telling the same story.
Yep.
Yes, I've had this happen to me. I've had people think I'm the defendant's mother. I've had the judge look right past me and ask, "Where's the lawyer?" And I think about all those times you hear these right wingers tell us that racism doesn't exist in America. It's all a lie. It's all a fabrication. It's part of the left's attempt to engage in identity politics. But what we see happening all the time is explicitly that. There is no other reason why that a bailiff would have pulled her specifically aside. We all know why. She knows why. And unfortunately, that happens even worse in the courtroom with the actual defendants. That's how ingrained it is, that it's now spilling over into the representation of these people. They get discriminated against. You cannot have any form of true justice in this country when even the lawyers are being discriminated against for the color of their skin. And that is how bad this justice system has become. We're not just taking it out on the defendants, it's now over onto the legal side of it as well.
Yeah, and we call it the justice system, but routinely we see it operating as the injustice system. And people say we need to fix it. No, we actually need to break it. The justice system is working as it was designed to work. It is working in a way that's adversarial to people of color, to historically marginalized group, to those who cannot afford the high price attorneys. It works against those groups because it was designed to do so.